Hi everyone, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin today to see how it's faring during the holiday season. So we didn't really have a Santa rally, unfortunately, but the price action is trying to make some progress. But let's have a look. So this chart in particular is highlighting all the key ranges. So essentially we've got here, we have the 89K, the 3-day 200 MA and the 4-hour 200 MA, all still very flush with nice confluence. And if the Bitcoin can break above these levels, then that's potentially a very easy resistance to support flip for the price action. So that would look something like this. And then we look to move up from here. Now that's the idea, but we haven't yet had any meaningful movement with any strength above these levels. So we are still below 89K. We are still below the 3-day 200 MA. We are still below the 4-hour 200 MA, which are the most significant lines in the sand to watch in the moment. But this diagonal resistance line, which has previously thwarted other previous breakouts earlier, a few days ago, early in the week, we're now having another crack at breaking above it. So if you zoom in very slightly, we can see that essentially Bitcoin has managed to break above this diagonal resistance line, but has been firmly rejected by 89K, has been firmly rejected by these moving averages, which we were just talking about. So again, we've previously said we don't need the price action to poke its head above the parapet, so to speak. We need to make a strong bullish move in order for buyers to look to come in on the flip side of these levels, which are essentially represented here. So we need to see not just this, because there's not many buyers which are going to come in now for the retest of this diagonal trend line following such a meek break. Therefore, you have to expect the price action is going to come back down again until we see something different. But if Bitcoin can move above here, we have a potential opportunity to flip these levels, but it needs to be more significant than this. And you can see the volume is not great on these moves. Right? We have declining volume, which is typical of the holiday season. So ultimately, what do we need to see from Bitcoin now? We need to hold this diagonal resistance level, firstly, but that's not reason to hold this, what was formerly diagonal resistance, which is now maybe acting as support. But we also need to make a move upwards because there's no way the price action can stay compressed in this area for too long. So we want to see a confirmed break above 89K, ideally into the next range like this. And therefore, that gives us a really nice bullish signal trade-off. And then we can look to come back in on the flip side of all these moving averages on 89K. And then some buyers might look to enter in this nice zone I've put on, which is represented by this little rectangle. Now, that's the idea. But right now, until we see something different, we have to presume we're going to get a rejection again. And even if we do see the price action pop its head above 89K and these moving averages here just slightly, that's still insufficient to come in for a long position, because ultimately we could just run into this resistance level and get rejected, and then not many people are going to come in on that meager break. So we do need to see something significant. Now it may work like that. You may get a move up from here, a little rejection from this, and then we have people looking to come in on the flip side, and there will be some, and then we can ride it up from there. But it's not really the bullish move which we need to see from Bitcoin for buyers to then enter the market and go, all right, the bottom's in, and therefore I'm looking to take a position. Otherwise, until we see that, people will still be stacking up their orders around this area as we approach 82K until we see a move above this range. So people are still waiting for either a strong break or a move back down to support so they can take an entry. But that's essentially what we're waiting for Bitcoin.